It's time to cook with Susan Beck. A few weeks ago I was looking at the Wisconsin State Journal and they were featuring a variety of cookie recipes from some of the different states in the United States, and one of them was from the state of Ohio. They were going to make Buckeye cookies. A Buckeye is a tree. The tree has a leaflet with 5 leaves, a compound leaf, and great big seeds like you can see here. Those will break open, and inside you will find a dark brown seed, a very big seed that has a gold end to it. And our cookies will look something like this today. The Buckeye is the state tree of Ohio, and it is the mascot of Ohio State University. Check out the head on Brutus the Buckeye. Now that you know what a Buckeye is, we need to make one other thing a little bit clear. I am not an Ohio State Buckeye fan. I am definitely a Wisconsin Badger fan, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy a good Buckeye cookie. Now these cookies are going to have 3 parts to them. We are going to be making a chocolate cookie. And I made these and thought, that chocolate cookie all by itself is really, really good. And then we're gonna make a chocolate topping for that, a little chocolate glaze that we'll be dipping them in. And I did that part. And of course, then I had to taste one of the cookies and went, that is excellent. Do they even need the peanut butter, I wondered, because that's what's gonna give it that little gold spot, a little combination of peanut butter and powdered sugar. Oh my, you put that little dab of peanut butter on and these become scrumptious. So I say, do all 3 layers. Are they high in calories? You bet. But if you're going to have a cookie, you might as well enjoy it. So here we go. We're going to use our big stand mixer today and mix together our ingredients. We're going to be mixing in the conventional order, and you can use 2 sticks of butter, 2 sticks of margarine, or I have a stick of each here today. Then we will be creaming that together with sugars. We have 2 kinds of sugar going into our Buckeye trees. I have brown sugar. If I can get it out. You're supposed to pack your brown sugar well. It looks like I have successfully done that. Let's use my spoon here. For some reason it doesn't want to drop out. There we go. And that was 1 cup of brown sugar and 3/4 cups of white sugar. When you're making cookies or bars, you should always mix together your sugars well. It's called creaming them, and we want to whip this together probably for like a minute or so just to really get those incorporated. Next, it's time to add in the 2 eggs, the teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Lastly, continue mixing in the conventional method of baking cookies by adding in your 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 1/4 cups of flour. Let's get the rest of that flour mixed in and our cookies will be ready to put on the cookie sheets. Oh, looks great. Let's clean off the beater. And we'll move to making the first part of this delicious Buckeye cookie, the chocolate base. When making cookies, I like to put a piece of parchment paper on the top of my cookie sheets. And then I just give that a light spray, but I just find that cookies always come off so easily. And cleanup is a cinch also. So a little spray the first time, and after that I won't really need to spray it anymore. And then we are going to make some little round balls. Want them to look a little bit like those seeds that we saw in the pictures earlier in this video. All right, another piece of parchment paper and a small spray of cooking spray. Now I first became familiar with what a Buckeye tree was when I was a very young child in elementary school. I probably knew what a Buckeye tree was when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, because we had Buckeye trees on our school playground. I remember collecting them as a kid. I always thought they were kind of cool. I went on as a teenager and did a big forestry book when I was preparing for the fair. Of course, I went back to my elementary school grounds and got a Buckeye seed and probably snapped a leaf off the tree as well. These will probably take 10 to 12 minutes, as with most cookies, as they bake in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 pans in at a time. And once we get our cookies made, we'll work on our chocolate glaze next. While the cookies are baking, I'm going to tear open a brown paper bag. This is my favorite way to cool my cookies. You can use a cookie rack, but what I like about putting it on the brown paper is it absorbs any extra grease and things from the cookies. And so this is just a quick and easy way to cool your cookies and have the grease absorbed on something that you were probably going to recycle otherwise. So if you've got a clean brown paper bag, give it a try. The house is pretty warm today, so between batches I put my chocolate batter into the refrigerator just to keep it from getting too soft. And we will fill our trays another time. Let's get our glaze ingredients together. I am going to go ahead and do this in the microwave today. We won't melt these until we get all of our cookies finished and cool. But we will be using 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And we will be using 2 tablespoons of butter. Mine has been softening for a little bit. And then we are going to add 1 tablespoon of corn syrup. Alice, the corn syrup just helps to make the chocolate melt a little bit better and makes it a little smoother. And you'll see that in a lot of chocolate glaze melts. And I'm just eyeballing the tablespoon there. So we'll be putting this into the microwave, but not yet. We will wait until all of the cookies have come out of the oven and have cooled off just a little bit before we dip them in the chocolate glaze. Now that our cookies are all cooled, it's time to move on to our chocolate glaze. We're going to melt that corn syrup, butter, and chocolate chips in the microwave. I like to start with 1 minute and then stop and stir. The butter has melted down into the chocolate chips, but we are definitely not at a smooth state yet, so we'll stir and put it back in for 30 seconds at a time until we do have a smooth glaze. As you can see, after a total of 1.5 minutes in the microwave, this has become much smoother. We're ready to dip our cookies. Well, these cookies by themselves are very, very good. They're a very light chocolate, and I like that a lot. And then with this little bit of that glaze on the top, it just elevates it so much. Just wait till we get to the peanut butter part. So we're just going to spread some of that glaze across the top of our cookies, giving it a nice thick layer of chocolate. And we'll just continue doing this with every one of them. Surrounded here by 48 frosted cookies that have our nice chocolate glaze on them. So part 3, we're going to put in 3/4 cups of peanut butter, and I just love this measuring cup. It's got all the measurements you need along the side, all the way up to 2 cups, and you just set it at, if I wanted 2 cups of peanut butter, I'd fill it all the way to there, and then I just love how you push it out and you get it all. You don't have to try to scoop into the sides of a measuring cup like this. All right, I also have a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, and we're just going to stir this together by hand to give our Buckeye cookies that little tan spot. We'll just mix until all the powdered sugar is incorporated with the peanut butter. And there we have it. It's almost like a dough with everything mixed together there. And I'm just going to be using my clean hands to add that little dollop of tanness to all of my peanut butter cookies. So you just get this little taste of peanut butter with that chocolate. Again, the cookie has, ooh, there goes one, has a nice light chocolate taste. But then you add that mixture of chocolate and corn syrup and butter, and that just adds a real richness. And then this peanut butter topping just really, really, really gives you that final pop of flavor. I just love the layer of the flavors and the textures in these Buckeye cookies. Well, here I am all decked out with my Badger gear, enjoying my Buckeye cookies. Just such a tasty chocolate cookie with a sweetness from that chocolate glaze and peanut butter. It's almost like eating a Reese's peanut butter cup. Gotta have a cold glass of milk with this. So go Badgers and enjoy the Buckeye cookies.